in Meru County, and if election will be there, but I don't think so because we don't have IBC. We are still in the national dialogue team. We are still conversing on how to get the commissioner. So that is not something that is coming anytime soon. And what else can we talk about that we feeling was trending about the Maina Njenga issue? Remember, Maina Njenga is having Thanksgiving ceremony in Nyeri, and he has invited former President, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the Deputy Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. What is happening?
Maina Njenga is a man to be watched keenly when it comes to Mount Kenyan politics. He's really coming up very strongly, and if suppose anyone wants to be Mount Kenya kingpin, they should up their socks, because at this rate Maina Njenga is going too fast, and he's been holding meetings at least every week. And for his favor, he's been resonating so much, especially with the youths. He's being seen as a defender for the youths, especially when the leaders, especially those in Kenya Kwanza, led by the deputy, sometimes they say that the youths of Mount Kenya are getting into some the youths of Mount Kenya are getting into things which are not really right for them, that some of them maybe are becoming thieves or what. So Maina Njenga is really defending the youths of Mount Kenya, and I think he has gotten a tactic uh, of trying to resonate. He has gotten a tactic, and he knows what to tell the youths. He knows how to converse with them. He knows the things that the youths wants to listen to.
Thank you.
Is really doing that. Now he's saying that he'll be holding a Thanksgiving ceremony on 30th of December, and he specifically chose Nyeri, and he said he chose Nyeri because Nyeri is the central part of Mount Kenya. And then we would also ask ourselves, we as the analyst, why would he go for Nyeri? Especially since we know that the deputy president is also coming from Nyeri, that is his county, and is among the people who wants to be the kingpin of the of Mount Kenya. So politically, I think Maina Njenga is a clever man. He wants to show the DP that even in his backyard, he has huge followings, and he just want to surprise and to tell the people that he's the king. I'm very sure that suppose if that meeting goes as it's planned, that so many youths would show up, and he would get so much support, and that would be a threat to the DP. I'm not sure if the DP would attend, because he was invited. He has said he has invited the DP. Again, he has said he has invited the former president, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai. So we'll wait and see. But so far, he's one of the strongest candidates
Okay,
championship.
okay. Let me ask you, because like Maina Njenga is not very new to Kenyan history. In the Kenyan history books, there's some books that when you open the chapters of our country, some chapters are painting him not in the good history, based on what happened in 2007. Yeah, he was said to be the leader of the Mungiki, and we know what the Mungiki did during 2007 post-election violence. Do you think he's the right person who should be the face of Mount Kenya with that history in him?
I think anybody no matter the sins that they've committed, is
Mhm.
entitled to get any position
Mhm.
as far as he resonates with the people. Remember, even in the government, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and his deputy. Remember, what brought them together was they were accused of serious. Uh, they were
Crimes.
accused of serious crimes, and that brought them together. And so you would ask yourself by then that people who have been accused of these serious crimes, why would we really even allow them to be the president of of Kenya? And remember, they managed, they ruled us. They're still ruling. Again, that's Kenyan politics. Even most governors, if even we look at the history of Anne Waiguru, the governor of Kirinyaga,
Mhm.
remember the books or the history of the country doesn't really have a good picture of her. But remember, she went back and she's now the COG chairwoman.
Mhm.
So whatever sins you committed before, when it comes to Kenyan politics, you can be sanitized. Once, so long as you tell the people in a way that is appeasing or appealing, they will simply welcome you and you'll get whatever you want,
So
depending on the tactics that you'll
you
use.
you want to tell me that chapter 6 of our constitution should be
It
should
should
not
be
be
suspended.
existing, should be
It should be
suspended,
suspended. Yeah.
or has always been suspended?
It was, I would say it was suspended, especially since the promulgation of this 2010 constitution, because 80% of elected leaders
Yeah,
in Kenya today,
yeah.
if we were serious law abiding, if we were serious constitutional followers, then
Uh-huh.
chapter 6 would have not allowed them to even vie for the positions they're holding.
Mhm.
Name any politician and I will tell you that
No,
this
I know we
qualifies.
don't want to. We know we have their files. We don't want to name them.
Yeah.
And you know another thing that usually happens in our country is like, we applies law impartially. We always apply it when it deems fit, as when I feel like this one now favors me, then I will go with it. But if it doesn't favor me, then it doesn't apply. And those are some of the things that, if you sit down as a Kenyan citizen and ask yourself, how far are we from achieving the desired Kenya, the Kenya that I want? How
You
far are
know,
we?
as much as we boast that we have the best constitution, of course we do have the best constitution within and around Africa and even in the world.
Mhm,
But the truth of the matter is, this constitution is not followed to the core.
mhm,
This constitution is just sometimes so many chapters or serious clauses are not really followed.
mhm,
Uh, the leaders that get into office, they sometimes when they get into power, they try to they try not to follow some laws. They try to apply it selectively,
mhm,
uh, knowing very well that they're doing the wrong things. Remember, even in the last government, in Uru government, when it was almost coming to an end,
mhm,
remember people would be arrested left, right, and center just because you are not supporting him or you are trying to do things which are not right, or suppose they knew you had
mhm,
committed some crimes before and you had not been investigated, maybe because you are still on their camp. Now that when you are leaving their camp, uh, they would then start following the cases that they felt you committed before. That's selective. Uh, that's being selective, and again, that's applying law when it favors you. And
and
remember,
mhm,
again, in this current government, majority starting with the let's say starting with the president, he was accused of so many things. Even in that previous government, the deputy, about 200 million that he was awarded and he did nothing. Remember when they got to power, this money was given back to him. And for the truth of the matter is, he never supplied the things. He supplied air, and he was given 200 million. And this money was given back to him the moment he became the deputy president. That also tells you that the leaders, they apply law when it comes to, depending on what they think, depending on their stance, depending on their people around them, depending on the friendship that they have. And that is why even the people who are even elected at the CS or the cabinet secretaries, majority of them had serious crimes, but when they got there, they have been sanitized and their cases have been dropped. They're bending the law, but they're not letting maybe the people to also bend the law. We can't hear you. I don't know whether you're muted.
Sorry. That's why I say. That's why you always see immediately after election. Yeah. Um, Most of the leaders will try to go where the government is, where the power is, the center of the power. They will get attracted to the center of the power, maybe based on if they know they've done something wrong, or if they feel like, I need to be next to the power so that when something happens, like I'll be treated with the soft gloves, yeah. Because like when you see, you talked about the former president administration, even what happened to DP then, it was what it was bad, like how deputy the president right now was treated, yeah. And that created a very bad precedent in the country, that's not how it should be, so, and that thing will continue, you see how he was treated.
Sako will continue, of course. I
It will
remember,
continue.
I remember Edwin, Senator of Nairobi, was telling, it was him and together with some MPs, they were saying that today they want to mismanage, they want to mismanage the resources that the people of Kenya has. Someone else will come and then they will feel that, oh, these people mismanaged and they're now the richest people. Someone will also do that because they saw
Yeah,
that someone else did it.
yeah.
And even when it comes to power and trying to govern, remember the former CS, His Excellence, the former CS of Interior, that Dr. Matiang'i.
Yes.
Remember what he did when he was the CS, and the same thing was done to him when he left office by CS Kindiki. And we are sure Kindiki, the way he has shown the same thing, someone else is going to be the next CS of Interior, is going to do the same thing for him, and the circle continues. I think that's so unfortunate because we also call ourselves Christians, and especially now that we are being led by one of the most serious Christians in the country, led by the president and the DP and their spouses. I think sometimes they should come back to their senses and also respect the Christianity values that we've always respected. Because why would they then retaliate if someone wronged them? They have gotten into power. Their work now is to actualize. Their work now is to deliver to the people of Kenya. Why would they spend most of their time trying to retaliate? And for that reason, they are wasting their time. They're also trying to uh, not focus on the work that they've been given to perform. And again, it's so wrong for them. Remember when they were being sworn in, they promised that they would do what is right, and now they're doing the opposite. And that is really expected of.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, there's a today, I think today or yesterday, the president was in central Kenya, and the reception was not so good as compared to the times that he was doing campaigns. And something also I noticed when he was there, there was a blame game issue. Honorable Kimani Chungwa talked about the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and I think President also blamed the previous administration. So, to you, what is your take, and what do you think? Because there's a tendency that usually happens that when things are very tough, yeah, or when there's a pressure on the government, the first place that the president would go and talk about this is in central Kenya. Why usually central Kenya?
Uh, you know, this government, they're still, we say they're still in the campaign mode because each and every time they are asked what they have what they have done to the people, and when they feel that they have not done what is right or they have done nothing, when they know they have done nothing, the only excuse that they will always come up with is they will tell you how the previous government mismanaged the government resources, how the previous government never did what was expected of them. And remember, he is part of that previous government. He was the deputy president. He was attending cabinet meetings.
Mhm.
I think it's just lack of respect. He doesn't respect the people of Kenya because why would you lie to us? Why would you keep on telling us about the previous government? You are the deputy. You are attending cabinet meetings.
Mhm.
If this government was messing up, you are in that government. Why would you tell them in the cabinet that this is wrong? Why would you call a press and tell the people that I'm now official opposition? These people, I tell them do this, they're not doing, they're mismanaging the resources. He never did that. Why would you then? He would have resigned so that he would take the role of opposition, so that the people of Kenya would see that he's a fighter and is not really part of the mess that was happening in the government. That never happened. That tells you that this is hypocrisy of the highest level because if it, you know I've ever been a leader. I remember when I was in high school in whatever capacity, uh, when I was a leader I became the president of that school, and when I became the president I remember the students had some very uncouth behavior, and most of them would just put on home clothes, and it was a boarding school, I would say. So when I came in, I had to do away with this issue of students putting on home clothes in school. But I remember when I got there, the previous government or the people who led before I did, they were the people, especially the leaders, they were putting on those clothes, and therefore the other students were just following suit. When I got into that position, mine was to always put on the school uniform so that maybe I would show as a leader that whatever was being done before wasn't right. As a leader, I think the most important thing is you should always show way. You should always walk in a way that would make others see that seriously this person is doing what is right. We should also follow suit. So for this government, if every day they wake up and the only thing they tell us is lies and lies and lies, the people are the people are fed up with these lies. And remember, the president was one of the most loved people in Kenya. In any meeting or campaign that he would go to, people will be so happy. He would be welcomed, especially in the Mount Kenya regions. When you looked at the reception that he got yesterday, he was speaking, no one was even looking at him. Even the crowd itself, people were standing far away from him. And then you ask yourself, I think as a leader, sometimes you look at the behavior of the people. That should clearly tell you that, am I really going the right direction? Are you really, are people really happy in this government that you're leading? That should tell you that either you should change a tactic and try to solve the issues that they are suffering from. Maybe that would help them.
And my question is, yeah, Forget about even like president going and lying and telling that the truth or not. But my question is, why is it always, why is it always the Mount Kenya? Does it mean that I agree 100%, but they contribute, they are determinant when it comes to votes. They have the majority of votes in terms of population, you know. But when things get tough to the government, especially the Kenya Kwanza, the first stop is usually central Kenya, you know. And when they go to central Kenya, the main idea or the main theme of the day or the talk of the day is about uh, the former president and the right honorable prime minister. Those are the two talks. You know, even today he was doing a government project, which they were supposed to talk about the government projects and what they attended and what they have accomplished, but the majority of their speeches was about blaming the handshake brothers. That's what they say.
The mistake that this government is making is they don't want to own up and accept the fact that they are unable to run this government or the government of Kenya. They are unable to solve issues that are affecting the people of Kenya. So they're trying to run away and they're trying to call on to try that. They have known that they are losing ground. They have known
Mhm.
that the people have seen the light. As much as they keep on uh, blaming the former government, they still have that mentality that the people would admit and accept such kind of statements.
Mm.
But I think someone should tell them that people are so majority of people are very clever and they've seen the light and they're not going to buy or
Mm.
accept the statements that they keep telling them about the previous government.
Mm.
So they've seen that the people about Kenya have started shifting. There's a serious shift. That's the truth. Majority of them have seen that they made a mistake of electing the president, and the presidents keep going back just to assure them that he's still with them, that he cares for them. But the problem is he can't deliver, and he is really showing them nothing. That is where the problem comes, and so the people are just. Some of them are no longer interested. Majority. If you saw the clip when he was addressing the people for the first time, no one was even trying to. People were so calm. So many people were standing away. If you keenly looked at the address when he was trying to talk about the fuel,
and and
people
and
are
and even the norm whereby if you compare his campaigns in the last general election, people would come with, maybe somebody would come with banana, somebody would come with something that he's selling on, you know, like those, you know, just to give him, you know, and to buy chapatis. They used to do that. Chai, somebody would come with chai and
that
you,
that tells you that they that time they wanted votes. When
nobody,
they got the vote,
yeah.
they no longer care about you bringing them banana or what. They will not buy because it is nonsense to them now. They have gotten what they wanted. So they are not going to remember you anywhere. Even if you come with those things, they will not buy. They don't care. Those days they were trying to get sympathy that they cared. They were resonating with Mama Mboga or the Boda Boda or whichever. It is now, you know, they've turned their backs, and it is a serious turn back where it is God for us all, man for himself. That is the point where we are now.
We will be watching the reception of the president wherever he goes, whether he's still going to encounter hostility from Kenyans or electorate. You know, time will tell. And by the way, they decided the president. I think he went to Nyeri today too, where he said the election for the UDA is going to be delayed. You remember they had vote mobilization and registration. Now the election is going to be delayed. I don't know the reason why, and that is something that is there. And maybe before we wind up, what can you comment about? Is it Malawian president and George Weah conceding defeat? We have Malawian president who banned foreign trips for himself and his cabinet, and George Weah conceding defeat.
Mm, First, consider when it comes to elections in Africa, most of time there is always reports of rigging, stealing of election. But sometimes I think when things are done the right way, it's right to just accept and move on. But again, when things are not done the right way, I think it's right to always fight so that someone else or you will
Mm,
not face the same thing. So him conceding that was a nice thing as a sitting president,
mm,
uh, accepting when the ground is not really with you, you should accept the fact. You shouldn't hold on for quite some time when you're. It's not right to console yourself that you're still there when people are not with you. That was
mm,
okay and nice of him. When it comes to Malawian president, it's called Chakwera.
mhm,
Him banning foreign uh, trips, I think that was it's a good move. Uh,